Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Scythe, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer. We are stuck in this strange mystery, and I have been avoiding trying to figure out what this mystery is all about, but now I have left Uliana to take care of the messy kitchen canteen that after she threw some borscht on me. And so now I have snuck out and not doing any cleaning and trying to figure out why this place is so mysterious. Why am I here? Where am I? And why am I 17 again? And all that stuff. But we don't get to do that right away because, as it says here, I'm meeting electronic. So yeah, let's go. Slipping outside, I hesitated for a few moments and ran into electronic. Looks like he was working till late at the club. Where's the fire? Fire? My shuttle is leaving in 10 minutes. What? Hey, wait! Oh, okay, we just ran past him. Electronics word hung in the air behind me. I ran off towards the square. I wonder, since it's with a K and no E at the end, I wonder if it should be Electronique, or something closer to that. It's definitely not the best place to hide. Indeed, it's a state of stress or fatigue. I frequently start talking to myself. Well, not really talking, but rather mumbling under my breath. It helps me to concentrate and find the right solutions quickly. Okay, where to next? Where should I go? The best place would be the one with the least amount of people. Consequently, my way lies in the woods. Half a minute later, I was already relaxing, sitting on a stump near the forest trail. That was one hell of a getaway. I hope that will teach Uliana to behave. Indeed, she is not a child anymore. Dude, she's like 14. She is definitely a child. Well, sad but true. Not a child anymore. Now, a thought crossed my mind. I might have sort of mishandled the whole situation. A fair share of that broken tableware is because of me. Moreover, one might mention that I didn't have to engage in that mess at the beginning. It got me thinking. How's the weather? Slavia stood right before me. How did she manage to sneak up unnoticed? Thank goodness it's not Olga Dmitrievna. Fine. Those were the only words I managed to squeeze out of myself. I thought I'd find you here. Why? I've never been here before. This is a brand new CG, you know? It's beautiful. But I've never been here before. Actually, because it's so beautiful, I'm gonna take a sneak here. Just grab that in case I want to for a thumbnail. So yeah. Why? I'm not sure. It's just... She looked up at the sky. There are fewer people around here. Does Slavia really think I have some sort of social phobia? Well, you certainly do. You are a weird guy. On second thoughts, she actually has a good reason to think so. And what are you doing here? Looking for you. She smiled again, but this time her smile looked a bit different. A little friendlier, I guess. Have I actually scored enough points with Slavia? Let me check. Because this thing also tells me how many points I can score. I replied, go to get the cards with Slavia. No. If you want to get the cards with Slavia, you didn't win Alyssa's bet, and after the tournament you go to the bus stop. Oh, so there's 3 things you need to do there. Cool, but no. I'd rather help Slavia. Oh, running away is... giving her a point. So I have 2 points with her. Well, that's it. No, I should not have enough points. She's... maybe. Why? Can't you guess? I'm braced and prepared for a harsh lecture. I understand that you're guilty to a lesser degree than Uliana. Now the camp leader's assistant is defending me. I felt even more pathetic. Damn, get serious. We're not playing bad cop, good cop here. but if I grant that you aren't gonna help her, you can at least help me. Saying that, Slavia looked up at the sky yet again. I wonder what she's looking for up there. And what do I need to do? We have to reorganize the books in the library. It's way better than disciplinary enslavement together with Uliana. And anyway, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm all at your service, mademoiselle, or madame. She laughed. Then follow me, monsieur. 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 I don't know how to say that. In a couple of minutes, we were in the library. All the way I kept looking around in fear of meeting Olga Dmitrievna. It looks like Slavia didn't notice my anxiety. And still, it's quite odd that she hasn't scolded me. Well, if we are to continue our analogy, Slavia is definitely the good cop. When we went inside, a gleaming sunlight streamed through the windows of the library, with a myriad of dust particles dancing in the beams. It's a special library dust with that distinctive smell that you can never confuse with anything else. These microscopic pieces of the moribund collect the works of Marxism and Leninism's classics. That's interesting. Does the dust near the fiction smell similar to the dust near the books on physics and chemistry? You start with those rows. Slavia pointed at a bookshelf near Lenin's sculpted head. Which is right here we are. There we go. Okay, but what exactly do I have to do? Just remove the books from the shelves and put them on the floor. We'll dust them and then we'll put them back. By looking at this dust, reading is hardly the pioneer's favorite activity. Any idea where Senya might be? Don't know. She probably went somewhere. Strange. It appears that there are just two places in the world where one can meet Senya. The library and the canteen. I got into gear. I guess I never handled so many books in one time in my entire life. Anyway, I'm much more used to reading from a computer screen or a tablet. Firstly, there is no need to pay for electronic books, and secondly, you cannot find everything in printed form. How's it going? Asked Slavia, standing behind the bookshelves. It's okay. It's going little by little. Have you read anything about that? About what? Well, about communism. Nah, I'm kinda more into historical books. And adventures. Me too. Well, historical literature wasn't exactly my favorite, but the class struggle under socialism was no match for it. Hey, don't hold a grudge against Uliana. I don't. Indeed, I felt that my ego mostly recovered from the incident at the canteen. Besides, I managed to cleanse myself of the lunch leftovers in a forest lake. It's not like she's doing all that out of spite. Out of spite or not, one should think through one's own actions. Whatever. I kept moving around dozens of books written by people totally unknown to me. I'm gonna forget who they are in a minute, and I'll never get to know what they were writing about. That is the doom of many writers, to become a forsaken set of letters in a hardcover on a bookshelf in the library of a non-existent pioneer camp's reality. Have you finished? Yeah, I think so. Me too. Okay, let's do it this way. I'll wipe them down and you put them back on the shelves. But I don't remember what order they were placed in before. It's okay. Nobody reads them anyway. It looks like she has a smile for every occasion. A couple of times I've noticed slight differences, shades of emotions in that smile. Joy, happiness, sadness. But these shades were so evanescent. I wasn't really sure that I'm not imagining things. This time, her smile looked a little flirty. Yeah, probably. At least I wouldn't be reading this stuff. Slavia was wiping the covers with a damp cloth, and I was putting the books back on the shelf. We were a good team. Our job was almost done. Why didn't you take anything from the upper shelves? Upper shelves? I looked up. Sorry, I hadn't noticed them. It's alright. Wait a moment, I'll bring the chair. Even with my rather considerable stature, I wouldn't be able to get them. I stood on the chair and proceeded to remove the books from the shelves and pass them to Slavia. After a while, there were only about a dozen books left on the farthest end of the shelf. It looked to me like I wouldn't be hard to reach that far. I always been the type to take a larger bite rather than biting twice. And taking that bite without moving the chair under me became a fatal error. Oh no, we tripped over her. And that's a pretty picture. Maybe that's the new thumbnail. Opening my eyes, I found myself on top of Slavia. Are you alive? I got the fright of my life. Even if I'm only 17 now, falling off a chair onto a girl is something else. I'm fine. Her face was only an inch away from mine. Anything broken? I don't think so. You'd make a rather bad stuntman. She laughed. You bet. I looked into her eyes. Just looked. I wasn't sure what I should say. And Slavia either hesitated too, or just let me take the lead. At this rate, something might happen. Her lips were so close to mine. A natural desire started to wake in my body. But was it right? I had the urge to stand up, but was unable to do so. Slavia was just lying in silence and looking me straight in the eyes. All of a sudden, I noticed a bell ringing on the edge of my hearing. It's dinner time. Yeah. Shall we go? Or shall we lie here some more? Ooh! That is kind of flirty. She smiled again, and this time her smile seemed foxy to me, as if she was hinting at something. Oh, really? Let's go. I didn't move an inch. Well, if we're going to go, you need to get up first. Obviously. It felt like some invisible force was holding me in place. Slavia seemed to recognize that and carefully slipped out from under me. Are you going to stay there? She laughed. At that point I finally came to my senses and stood up. I'm sorry. That's okay. But we haven't even finished it all. We'll have to clean up the rest later. Yeah, sure. I stayed silent all the way to the canteen. Slavia rambled on about her life in the camp, but given that it was indeed a monologue, I wasn't paying much attention. Coming to the canteen, I saw Olga Dmitrievna on the porch. Don't you have some explaining to do, young man? Now remember what it was that I had forgotten. Nope. How was your cleaning duty? Good enough. That's not what Uliana told me. That was all her fault. And what did I tell you? I ordered you to clean it up together. And what were you doing? I didn't know what to say, as deep down I knew that she is right. Don't blame him. Semyon was helping me at the library. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that's all great and stuff, but to cut a long story short, you won't get dinner tonight. Oh, man. How is that? Why? I protested. However, my protest looked more like a demand for a refill at the prison mess hall. Bold and daring, but still stupid and counterproductive. Hopefully that will teach you a lesson. At that instant, Olga Dmitrievna looked more like an ancient Roman legionnaire commander than a tiny pioneer camp leader. I had no idea how to oppose her. Forgive him, and hold me responsible. The camp leader took her time to think it over. Alright, if you say so. Thanks. Thanks. So I get dinner anyway, and Slavia doesn't? We hurried inside. Well, I'm gonna join the girls. We had a prior arrangement. So you are getting dinner? So how are you being held responsible then? Take care. She smiled and waved her goodbyes. Seriously, where would I be without her? There was no free place near Slavia, and besides, I hadn't been introduced to her friends. It seems that I would have to share a dinner table with Electronic and Shurik. There were no more places to sit. What's happening, gentlemen? Every time I had to deal with them, I got an itching desire to tease them, or at least drop some cheeky or cocky banter. It might be too risky to behave that way, but the Electronic brothers were my primary source of positive emotions. How are you doing? Fine. What about you? Hits and misses. Did something happen? Lots of stuff. Mind sharing? Nah, some other time maybe. Suit yourself. He made a helpless gesture. We're going to the ball after dinner. Electronic giggled. I know that. Who would you want to ask out? I hadn't thought about it yet. What about you? It seemed that this question caught him off guard. Hey, if you're not ready to take a dishing, don't dish, or whatever the saying is. I know parts of that thing, but not the entire thing. Ask Juliana, that will make her happy. No thanks! Electronic furiously waved his hands. And you, Shurik, you gotta ask Alyssa out. Hey, don't say that, I have a date with Alyssa. Thanks, I'll pass. He looked calmer than his mate. Oh, come on, guys, it'll be fun. And in any case, we got things to do. We still have to finish the robot. Oh, that's a marvelous idea. Ask a robot out. Can it dance? He can't even walk yet. Shurik probably missed the point completely. Why, it would be a great demonstration of our achievements in front of the camp. And what would you show to them? Yeah, you're right. They both stared at their plates disappointedly. Not a whole lot going on there. Just talking with the Electronic brothers, and we don't... just making some fun of them. And everyone's leaving and it's becoming evening. Dinner was over and the pioneers started to disperse. What will you wear for the ball? I asked Shurik and Electronic. We don't have anything special to wear. We'll go as we are. He indicated his pioneer uniform. They don't seem to care about their appearances at all. Well, why should I care then? Wearing my winter clothes isn't an option, so I'll go just like this. When does it start? After 9 o'clock? Got it. I left the canteen and deeply inhaled the fresh evening air. I remember those rare dances I used to go to at school. Hesitation, insecurity, even fear. I couldn't dance. I didn't know how to react if someone had invited me. I wouldn't dare to invite someone myself. All in all, I felt pretty uncomfortable about it, and it was even more unpleasant to watch others having fun. It wasn't envy, more like it was a disconcerting feeling that people were able to enjoy something so odd for me. I thought there was still lots of time till the ball so I could sleep a little to be fresh in the evening. Entering the camp leader's cabin, I flopped onto the bed instantly and shut my eyes. Are we dreaming or are we waking up right away? Waking up. Strangely enough, I got up right on time even without an alarm. The clock was showing 9. Such a rare thing to happen. I felt sluggish though. Probably it wasn't the best idea to sleep during the day after all. I'm going to see Alyssa instead of the dance. So it's time then. But I agreed to help Lena. Right. And what should I do now? We're going to... we're going to Alyssa. A few minutes later I approached the stage. Maybe it was a bad idea accepting her offer. Just talking to Dvachevskaya means danger. On the other hand, I wasn't eager to go to the bed dance. What can I do there? It only disgrace myself. No, I'm better off listening to Alyssa play the guitar. Coming closer, I saw a person sitting on the edge of the stage with her legs dangling. So you came after all? Alyssa put the guitar aside and jumped to the ground. There was even a trace of joy on her face for a moment. Playing for someone is surely more interesting than being alone. As you can see. What are we going to do? What do you mean, what? I'm asking you. Well, you wanted... I got the sudden idea that this situation is one of her usual pranks, and I should never have expected to hear any guitar songs. I'm going to bed. Bye. I turned around and waved a hand intentionally slowly. Hey! Alyssa grabbed my sleeve. What? Don't you want to listen? Listen to what? You yourself don't know what you're going to do. Of course I know! She took the guitar in and hit the strings with a plectrum a couple of times. Sit next to me. Well, damn, so many good CGs here. I didn't object, and in a moment I was sitting beside her. It's better this way. Miss the dance, leave now, and then what would I do? The role of a stranger was more suitable for a passive observer, not for the eager seeker of answers, who I wanted to be so badly. So, I'll show you how to play this song now. Just like that? Right away? What do you mean right away? I haven't held a guitar for a long time. She could probably guess how long it's been since I held one. My skills were enough to make a cat laugh. It's not difficult. I threw an intense look at Alyssa. It distinctly seemed to me now that she just can't express her feelings. She could lose her strange self-control for a moment, and I'd get to see a casual and even funny and friendly girl. And then, when her self-confidence and impudence turned back on, it was bitchiness as usual. And which is the real one? Hey! What? Stop daydreaming! Oh, yeah, sorry. So, are you watching? I am. What song is this? The one I played this morning, of course. Oh, okay. I'm listening. Alyssa made up her mind and started to play. That's it. Did you get everything? I may have understood it, but I probably won't be able to replicate it. How shall I put it? It's okay. Practice makes perfect. She's undoubtedly right on this point, but I may have had problems with practice all my life. Well... I took the guitar from Alyssa and tried to play the first chord. It was hard, as if my fingers were tied in a knot and didn't want to be in the right place. I used to be better before, but now I wouldn't even be able to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Well? Wait a moment. Looks like you won't be a rock hero. She laughed kindly. You may be better this way. I hissed, vainly trying to remember the order of the strings to press. Well, the guitar started to make a devilish sound resembling the groans of a wounded dinosaur. My left hand fingers constantly missed the right frets, and my right hand didn't strike in rhythm. Let's call that progressive rock. Progressive. Well, give it back. She took the guitar away and it sounded completely different in her hands. I felt embarrassed by the clumsiness for a moment. Alyssa's skill may not be on the level of a professional guitarist, but nevertheless, she played simple things like this with confidence. She must have had a lot of practice. Did you get it all this time? She finished and offered the guitar to me. Well, I did it better the second time, but it was still a long way from Alyssa's level. Or from any decent adequate level. I was aware of how totally worthless I was compared to her. It seemed so simple. Just play a song with 3 chords. The tune is too simple though. I put the guitar aside. Alyssa was lost in thought for a moment. Even a preschool kid could play it better. Thanks. I tried. So I noticed. She might be trying to demonstrate her evident superiority at playing the guitar. It's not like everyone can be a musician. Not really. Alyssa looked up at the sky. Though you can't be one, that's for sure. Why is that? You should have heard yourself. I started to regret coming here. Well, don't mind me. Why doesn't Alyssa need to do this? It's obvious that I'm a horrible guitarist. Obviously. But if I had some practice... So, will you practice? I don't know. Maybe I will. The guitar was the least of my problems though. I'm stuck in a strange world I can't escape from. That's more important than a stupid argument with Alyssa. I suddenly felt an annoying self-pity, apathy and the urge to leave this place, to forget this evening. Those feelings left a nasty impression and a burning desire to do or say something stupid. As if it would change anything. What? Me learning to play the guitar? You surely couldn't. You strum the guitar for a couple of days and give it up. Alyssa's word pierced my heart. Yeah, because that is how he's been living his entire life up until today, it seemed. From before he went to Semyon. You know what? Oh well, should she know? Is it any concern of hers? Am I reacting this way because it's true, and that it's Alyssa who spoke the truth? You can't know how to do everything. Probably not. But you should be able to at least do something. So, I was saying that I can't do anything. How should I know? You know, I what? Should I tell her about my computer skills? Or about the books I've read and the movies I watched? Well, this is a pointless conversation. That goes without saying. You're only concerned with having fun. And you do nothing but whine. Forget it. I jumped down from the stage and walked away from the concert area. Go then! I heard Alyssa yelling to me. I'm already going! I hissed. The path led me back to the square. There was Slavia in the center of it, sweeping the area. Oh, Semyon, hi. I thought everyone was already asleep. No. What are you doing? Cleaning up after the ball. Why didn't you come? Just, and where have you been? I hadn't the slightest intention of telling Slavia how I embarrassed myself on stage with a guitar in front of Alyssa while the whole camp was having fun at the square. That is a long-ass sentence. I took a walk. Okay, but you should have come. It was fun. Glad you enjoyed yourself. I'd been sweating like a pig today because of worries of just the hot nights. Hey, do you know where I can have a bath? Certainly. Go straight, then a bit to the left by the path, then to the right, and there will be a bathhouse. Should I accompany you? Well, hell yeah. No need. I'll find it myself. Of course, she was never going to join me, but it would be nice to have someone walking with me there. I totally didn't want to burden her more. I walked along a forest path in the direction Slavia showed. My whole body was itching. How didn't I notice it before? And more importantly, what else hadn't I noticed? If things keep going like this, then I'll have to stay in this world forever. I shivered at the thought. Probably at the idea that I didn't feel any terror, or even just fear. Just like it's all the natural flow of things. I could see the bathhouse behind the trees. And why do the pioneers have baths here? Olga Dmitrievna had said something about repairs to the showers though. No reason to worry about it now. There was soap and clean towels, so I quickly washed myself. Went outside and breathed in a chest full of fresh night air. Yeah, it's so wonderful that physical cleanliness brings spiritual cleanliness. All my problems, if not went away, then at least became less important. It's like the water washed away not only dirt from body, but also the anxiety from my mind. I suddenly started yawning, so I headed to the leader's cabin, rubbing my eyes. I didn't take even a few steps before Alyssa jumped out from the bushes. Why were you in the bushes? You weren't sneaking up on me in the bath, were you? Sneaking a peek, I mean? You? What are you doing here? I was just washing myself. She came to her senses and spoke again. And what? How should I know? Then why do you speak if you don't know? All my peace of mind vanished in a moment. Only the irritation and the weariness remained. Okay, well, if you don't mind... Wait. Now what? If back there on stage you thought that, well, I didn't want to offend you or anything. It's okay, I'm not offended. I just can't play the guitar. Nothing special. A lot of people can't. I felt that there was obvious signs of irritation in my voice, but I couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to say everything to her face right there, right now. Exactly, you can't. Alyssa obviously restrained herself from laughing. Oh, I've already had enough of you. She totally drove me out of my wits at that moment. In another second, I would have started to yell at her. Or worse. Wait. Would you just leave me alone? Alyssa followed me but didn't try to stop me. I really didn't want to offend. Some invisible power made me turn around. Okay. Can I go now? Yes. Oh, of course. In the moonlight, Alyssa looked very beautiful, with a brief guilty expression on her face. If she could only keep her mouth shut. What are you smirking at? Although... Nothing. I just thought that if only you were able to be a bit more polite. Then what? I shouldn't say such things. People could get ideas, depending on their intellectual abilities. Then nothing. You should finish what you started. There's nothing to finish. I'm very tired, and I am going to sleep. Stop right there! Don't make me run away from you. As if you could. She may be right. I am already exhausted from this day, and naturally, I had no intention of running after a bath. So what? What? If only I would be a more polite, then what? Try it and you will see. Why should I do anything for a fool like you? Then don't try. What does it have to do with me? I sighed and dragged myself to the square. And what about you then? What? I replied without turning to her. Well, if I would, then you... I don't know what you're talking about, but let's think that I would, if it is easier for you. Moron. Alyssa yelled at me and headed to the bathhouse. The square shined with the cleanness of a German road, which were washed with shampoo, or so people said. That's Slavia for you. And I just argued with Alyssa and nothing else. What for? As if it was really necessary. And her behavior. In any other situation, I would have surely said that Alyssa likes me and I just hides it behind her rudeness. As I said, at tsundere. She's a tsundere. That's not important right now, though. Relationships, love, anything. Maybe she isn't even a human. And what if she was a human and all this was happening in the real world? I drove those thoughts away and headed to the leader's cabin. Tiredness had overwhelmed me. It was like an invisible obstacle stopped me in the front of the door. Olga Dmitrievna certainly would like to know where I was and why I missed the dance. I'll get a full interrogation for sure. Counting the absence of Lisa at the dance too, I wouldn't be hard to guess that we skipped it together. On the other hand, should I even tell her that instead of going to the dance, Alyssa practiced playing the guitar and I just went along with the flow? Nothing special actually. Doesn't really matter why I left. So, at the same time, I thought that it could be better to keep silent. Well, I'll decide on the spot. I sighed and pulled the door handle. Oh, look at her! Beautiful dress! God damn! Olga Dmitrievna was already waiting for me, wearing a dress. So, Semyon, where have you been? Tell her that you've been with Alyssa. Make up another excuse. I was with Alyssa. To tell the truth, I was at the stage with Alyssa. And what did you do there? Play the guitar. Okay, that's not important. Why didn't you come to the ball? Well, frankly speaking, I don't like dancing. So what? That was a camp public event, which means every pioneer had to attend. She looked at me intently. You could just sit somewhere quietly. I'm sorry. I sighed. Okay. The leader softened. Go to bed quickly. The storm had passed. And it becomes night? No, not yet. I tossed and turned but couldn't sleep. My head was full of thoughts about music, guitars, and Alyssa. I wonder, could I become a professional musician? And do I even want to be one? Why should I want to? It certainly would be pretty fun, but nothing else. Or is Alyssa the reason? She really is like an energy vampire, sucking all your juices. My eyes started to close and I fell asleep a moment after. Day 4. Come on, show it to us. Day 4. But yeah, that will also be the end of today's episode. We're just going to wake up. I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head. This is getting pretty loud. But yeah, that is some scary shit going on right here. Oh, it's the alarm clock. But yeah, that is the end of today's episode. We have ditched school, not really, but we ditched a public event to hang out with Alyssa. She is very much into me right now. I believe I have like 7 points with her or something like that. And you only need 5 in order to get her good ending, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I could if I want to, but I don't want to. I want to do the Semyon routes first. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Josef for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.